So our guests today are here to help students of all ages deal with bullying.
They encourage strategies to combat bullying without physical violence, and they say the best time to start practicing that is right now. Master Daniel Amawana from Pandas Karate is here, and he brought a student with him. Welcome. Who'd you bring with you, Master Daniel?
This is Serafina, one of my black belt students.
Hey, Serafina. We're not going to mess with you today, although you've got some non-violent strategies for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about your Sticks and Stones program.
Sure. Sticks and Stones started off as just a basic program to empower kids and teens on how to deal with bullying without physical violence, and then it evolved into like a school assembly, and we've done it up and down the East Coast. We're really proud of it.
That's awesome.
And you've got 5 tips for parents and families you want to share with us today, right?
Oh yeah, sure. I believe that whenever you talk about anti-bullying, it always starts at the dinner table in some sense. So we want to have these important conversations with our parents there. We want to make sure that we include topics on empathy, talk about a little bit of cyber safety as well, making sure we know who's being talked to online with our kids, and making sure that we spread kindness as well. If we are demonstrating that to our children, then the children will copy it as well. And so, you know, it just makes the world a better place.
Yeah, because bullying's a little different these days. Of course, it can still happen in person in school, but the cyberbullying is a thing.
Yeah, very much. I always think about it like pouring gasoline on a fire. If that happens, if you're replying back to these bad comments or hurtful comments, we want to make sure that we don't push back, but we alert our caregivers, our parents, guardians, administrators of what's going on, as opposed to just battling it ourselves.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of that roundabout battle that's never going to be won if you just keep pushing back, right? Until you actually do something to physically stop it, you know, by telling somebody.
Yeah, and sometimes kids don't know how to handle it, so it's really important that they have great communications and talk about it with those that can help.
Yeah, well, I know you've got a demo for us with Serafina to show some ways that we can kind of combat that bullying when it happens.
Yeah, definitely. Serafina, if you want to just stand right here with me. So let's say I'm making fun of her. Verbal bullying is really popular, right? So let's say I come up to her and I'm like, ew, you know what? That shirt is really, really ugly. I hate it. What would you say to me?
Well, my mom made me wear it. Parents, right?
That's true. That's true.
Always blame the parents. Absolutely no.
Blaming the parents is a great tool. We call this deflection. StopBullying.org recommends this tactic, so it's a great way. But let's say it does become physical. So I want to get really close to her, and all of a sudden she shows me that safety posture, right? These arms become walls, and now she creates this boundary. And what's really good about it is, like, let's say we were in a combative state. If you look at who has the fist position, who has open hand, who looks like the aggressor in this position. So if you got bystanders watching you, now you know who needs help. But let's say I do end up grabbing my student here, and now we got to escape out of it. So the weakest point of a grip is going to be between the thumb and fingers. And so as she turns the wrist and exposes it, she's going to use momentum and pull away as hard as possible, breaking out of the grip. You did really great. Good job.
Nice job, Serafina.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and obviously you teach them using your words first. You know, obviously we don't want anything to turn violent, but it is always important for them to even understand just the smallest move that can protect them.
Yeah, I mean, protection is exactly right. We don't teach fighting, we teach how to protect. I do believe that violence promotes more violence, so whenever bullying situations happen, I like to solve with nonviolent tactics first, but then hopefully you know how to defend yourself, just like Serafina demonstrated.
Right. Well, I hope if parents are watching at home that they do some of these tips, practice them at home with your kids, because when it happens, they're not like a deer in headlights. They know what to do with the hands. I love that tip. That's a great one. Yeah. Daniel, thank you so much. This has been so awesome. Great job, Serafina. Thank you guys for being here. To learn more anti-bullying strategies, visit www.pandaskarate.com.